Hi and welcome, beautiful yogi, to practice. My name is Mimi and I'm so happy that you're here today. In today's practice we will focus on our shoulders and our neck and our chest. So we will do a lot of things that are bringing space back to those areas, which is great on a physical level because you probably too. We spend most of our waking hours in that unhealthy posture, shoulders rolled forward, head leaning forward, and that flow, the practice we do today, will counterbalance. So we actually return back into that nice, graceful, upright posture by opening up across the chest and rolling shoulders back a lot, and also strengthening through the muscles across our back. But it's also beautiful on an energetic level, because by doing so, we also open up our heart space and we activate heart energy. And this then can radiate to every cell of our body, but also to all other human beings around us. So it really activates love, self-love, kindness. And I hope this has then a ripple effect for you long after the actual practice. We also store emotional tension or emotional stress in that area. So whenever we are just emotionally stressed, often we tighten up around that area. So by releasing tension from that area, you might also find some sort of ease with the emotional luggage you're carrying around with you. All right, enough words. Let's put it in practice. We're going to start in child's pose. So come onto your knees. Have your knees a little wider. Connect your toes at the end of the yoga mat, and then sit your bum down. You can even wiggle a little bit from side to side, like you're feathering your nest, and then walk your arms out in front of you, but bring softening into your arms. So your forearms sink, your elbows sink, and your forehead is resting on the floor. To drop into a space of safety first. So feel how you now creating a space for yourself where there's no judgment, there's no targets that have to be reached or achieved. We accept things as they are. We allow things just to be as they are. So we observe, yes, and we become aware of all of it, but then we try not to fix it. We try not even to label it as something that would need a fix or not. We just look at it as it is, and we get curious about it, and we let it then just be and unfold on its own time and in its own ways. In that space, begin to connect with your breath, with prana, with our life force, and let that be the only movement that is left here. The only physical movement that is left, but maybe also the only internal movement. So no thoughts that are pulling you away from connecting with your breath. Stay here for 2 more, inhaling into the stomach, up into your chest. Maybe separating lips and sighing the breath away as you exhale out. Do that 1 more time, inhaling into stomach, up into chest. And then exhale everything out. With your next inhale, then come on your hands and your knees, finding your tabletop position. So knees a little closer towards another and feet a little further apart. Connect the toenails down to earth. Make sure your hands are really walked out far enough that your spine can fully extend. And then from here, start to tilt your pelvis forward, widen your sit bones to the back of the room, let your belly drop, pull your shoulder heads back, and arc your chest forward and upwards, and lift the crown of your head up high. With an exhale, start to squeeze your sit bones towards another. Tilt your pelvis now the other way. Draw your navel towards your spine and magnetize the tip of the nose towards your pubic bone. Let's go through 1 more here. Feel how your breath guides you as you come into your cow stretch. And then with an exhale out, curl your tailbone under. Draw navel in and up, round. Feel how the skin between your shoulder blades starts to spread. And then come into a neutral position from here. Lift your right arm over the side up towards the ceiling. You can have your gaze shifted in your right hand. Keep your hips on top of your knees as you do so. And then thread your right arm underneath your left armpit all the way through until you can lower your right shoulder and your right ear down to earth. Watch your right foot. Sometimes it slides over a little bit to the left side and gently bring it back to the right side. You can keep your hand where it is. So if you want, let your arm come around your lower back, maybe even to finding that right quad to hold on to. Wherever you are, use it to roll left shoulder a little more on top of your right shoulder. Keep on sipping your left hip back in space so your spine stays nice and long and your hips are still leveled and aligned with the short edge of the yoga mat. Stay here for another breath in. Let that breath go. Then free your left hand and bring your left arm out in front of you. An extension of that left shoulder. Push through your left hand. Free your right arm and place your right hand beside your left hand so you are in extended puppy pose. Hips on top of your knees, and then from here sink. Let your heart melt towards the floor. Forehead can come down to the ground, or if it's in your flexibility, feel free to come on your chin instead, but leave your ego out of it. So don't push yourself into any shape your body is not ready to, just because your mind tells you it would look nicer. Go with the feeling, not with the look. Stay here for another 2 breaths, really hanging yourself out. 1 more breath. And then from here, undulate your way onto your thighs and your hips. So draw everything up towards the sky first, lifting yourself up, and simultaneously move to the front of the yoga mat until you can lower your thighs and your hips down. Then bend your elbows and let them come underneath your shoulders so you end up in the Sphinx pose. Bring then your left forearm across the yoga mat. Bend your right knee and reach with your right hand around to catch your right ankle. Kick with your right hand gently into your right hand and use it as an assistance to roll the right shoulder head back. So our shoulders still sit beside each other, but the right shoulder rolls wide open. And this also brings a lifting, a shining upwards from your heart space. So feel that. Keep the back of your neck long. Keep your lower back happy and extended. Stay here for 1 more breath. And then exhale out. Gently release your right ankle. Come back down onto your stomach. But extend your right arm over to the right side so it's in alignment with your right shoulder. Bend your left knee and then roll onto your right hip. Turn your right ear down. Rest your head on the floor. Your left knee begins to point up towards the sky. And we bring so much space and length to the right shoulder, the front of it. You can lift your left arm up towards the sky, reach around and see if you can pop that left hand back underneath your waistline. And then just settle. So once you position yourself where it feels good for you, notice how you can drop a little more tension because you don't have to move from A to B. And with dropping that sort of tension that moved you, that muscle contraction that moved you, you might be able to go a little deeper into the stretch because there's not so much protection than coming from tight muscles or resistance. Stay here for 1 more breath. Exhale out. And then find your way back onto your stomach. Step by step, the same way you got in there. Pull then your right hand beside your ribs and press it back up, coming into tabletop position. Tuck your toes under and then come up into your downward facing dog. First down dog of your day. So begin with observing. And remember, you want to create a space for yourself where you just can be and things can just be. So you just observe. Maybe your right side feels different to your left side. Maybe prana picked up a little more in your right than your left. Maybe right side feels a little more colorful than your left side. And all of that is just what it is. And it's not good or bad. It's not funny or sad. It's just what it is. Begin then to walk your feet to the front of the yoga mat. Taking your time here, feel how your feet are connecting with the ground underneath. Feel how the backside of your legs is feeling as you walk to the front. And then drop. Soften your knees, sweep arms back and around and come all the way up to stand nice and tall. At the very top, interlace your fingers above your head. Turn your palms upwards towards the sky. Bring your pelvis in a neutral position, charge your legs, receive the rebound. It's almost like your body is an energetic straw and you drink in earth energy from the bottom all the way up into your hands, and then stay here. Lean then over to your left side and push your hips over to the right side without losing the straightness, if that makes sense. So we bend to the side, but we are still very, very straight. Everything is stacked on top of each other. Come out of it and then change directions and lean over to the other side. Keep on pushing your hip now to the left side. Stay here for another breath in. Exhale out. And then find your way back to your center. Open your arms to left, right, outside. And come into a forward fold over your legs. Come into a half lift. Extend your spine, pull yourself into your toes at your highest point for your right foot. By bending into your left knee, step that right foot to the end of the yoga mat. Find lengthening first from your heel to the top of the head. Ground your right palm flat down and open over to the left side for easy twist. Keep on hugging your belly button towards your inner thigh and your inner thigh towards your belly button. Stay here for another breath in. Exhale out to bring left hand back down towards earth. Keep your shoulders above your wrist as you pull left foot through plank position. From your plank, lower your knees down to the floor and then walk it back until you meet yourself again in a tabletop position. Let your belly drop, widen your sit bones. Push the back of the heart into the front of your heart through your arms. Lift crown of your head up high. With an exhale, round vertebra at a time. Coming all the way up, chin to chest. One more round here. Inhale, finding your cat. Your cow, excuse me. Exhaling out, finding your cat. Come then back into neutral in between. Lift your left arm up to the side. Gaze is in your left hand, hips don't move with you, and then thread your left arm all the way through. Place your left shoulder blade down, left ear down. Your spine is still nice and long, even all the way up along your neck. And then free your right arm and bring it around your lower back. Remember, we want to keep our hips kind of on top of the knees, so see if you have to push your hips a little further over to the left side, and then see if you can roll your right shoulder more and more on top of your left shoulder. Keep on massaging your stomach by contracting your core every time you exhale out, and then flush fresh flow into it by inhaling into an open stomach. Free then your right hand, bring your right arm out in front of you. Push through your right hand and bring your left hand beside it. Extended puppy pose. So if you were on your forehead in the first round and it felt pretty good, maybe the second round now allows you to come onto your chin. Stay here for another 4 breaths. Feel how there comes freedom and liberation to a shape. Once we really surrender, once we really just let things be as they are. Finish your last exhale, and then again with a rounding movement through your spine. Ripple your way onto your thighs, onto your hips. Bend your elbows. Bring them underneath your shoulders and drop into the Sphinx pose. Bring your right arm across. Maybe narrow your feet a little more. And then bring your left knee, your left foot up, bending left knee, and hold your left ankle. By kicking into your left hand, feel how you bring more smile to your left collarbone. Let your left shoulder roll back, back, back. Stay here for another 2 breaths, really feeling how we can actually open up without pushing or forcing ourselves, by simply just giving into it. And then release. Left leg goes down to the floor, left arm in extension over to the side, bend your right knee and then roll over onto your left hip. Lower your head down to earth. Right arm can come all the way around your waistline. That right knee can point up towards the ceiling, so you roll open your right hip. However, our focus here is really still on our chest. So don't take that away by efforting too much into that hip or anywhere else in your body. Stay here for 2 more. One more, diving into your heart center. Feel what's sticky in there, maybe even a little bit painful, and breathe kindness into it. Then roll your way back onto your stomach, both hands by your ribs, both legs straight. Push on your knees, tuck your toes under, and come into your downward facing dog. As if you're returning back home, start to sink and soften. Stay here for another breath in. Let that breath go. And then walk again to the front of the yoga mat, baby steps. Try to pin your palms down as you do so. So it is a bit of a core workout too, as you come all the way to the front. Then drop, find ease, back to effort as we flatten our spine to come back up high into a stand. Bring your palms together above your head. And bring your hands towards heart center. Separate then your hands and bring them beside your hips, and from here interlace them behind your back. Charge your legs first, drink in that breath, then lock your elbows out and draw your hands down towards your heels. Take then another breath in to puff your chest up towards the sky, and keep on pulling your shoulders downwards and roll them open. Take one more breath in here. Exhale out. And then come into a forward fold, and if you can, keep your hands together in a bind. Come then into a half lift, soften your knees slightly. Keep on lifting your hands towards the back wall, but pull the ground of your head towards the front. And then bend your elbows and come into a full forward fold, both hands in front of your toes. Start now to bend your left knee. Keep your left hand grounded, right leg straightish, and then open your right arm up towards the sky. Reach with your right arm around your lower back and place that hand just on the outside of your left hip. Free then your left arm, bring it through your legs and reach as far as you can. So if your left elbow joint now is past your left thigh, turn your left palm towards the left side of the room. Bend your elbow joint and place the left hand against the outside of your left hip. You might even be okay to grasp your right hand so you are in a bind behind your back. Doesn't matter if your hands are connected or not. Wherever you are, see if you can roll your right shoulder a little more on top of your left shoulder by straightening your right leg a little more, maybe swaying even the hip around in space and having that left knee bend. Take another breath in. Exhale out. And then reset and come back out of it. Let both of your hands go and drop them back down towards floor. Come into half lift from here. Inhale and move over to the other side. Bend your right knee. Reach with your left arm all the way up towards the sky. Left leg is straight. Bend your left elbow to place the left hand on the outside of your right hip. Then free your right arm and go through your legs, behind your legs. If your right elbow joint is further than your right thigh, turn your right palm outwards. Bend your right elbow and bring it up against your right outer hip. From here, you might be able to connect with the other hand. Roll your left shoulder more and more on top of your right shoulder. Keep your right knee bent and left leg straight. And corkscrew yourself more and more into the depth of that shape. So it's not just you jamming yourself. Feel how actually staying soft as you go deeper helps you to go deeper. Stay then here for another breath in. Exhale out. And then reset. Let go of both of your hands. Let them drop back down in front of your legs. Hold the opposite elbow. Sway from side to side. Let then both of your hands come back down, come into half lift at your highest point, free your left foot and step it to the end of the yoga mat. Come into an easy twist, bring your right arm up high to the sky, spiral your belly button over towards the right side and then release and bring your right hand back down. Step it back into a downward facing dog, both feet towards another. Lift your heels up high, draw your chin towards your chest, round your way forward, come into high plank, inhale. From here, find your low plank, bend your elbows to the back of the room. You can assist with your knees. Baby cobra, full cobra, or upward facing dog. Come then into a downward facing dog. And observe. When you're ready, start to float your right leg up high to the sky. Inhale. Curl your right knee into your chest and step it all the way through between your hands. Build a strong foundation with both of your legs first. Magnetize your inner thighs towards another. Swipe your arms back and around to come all the way up into your Crescent Lunge. Keep that strong foundation, your strong base, so you can open then into your Warrior Two. Both legs are strong. Right knee bent, left leg straight. Both arms are strong and they're charging to the front and to the back of the room. Watch your shoulders. They want to sit on top of the hips. Often we lean too far forward, so bring them back a little bit. Reverse your warrior, and as you do so, bring your left arm around your lower back. Brush the sky with your right fingertips and lean into it, but keep your right knee exactly where it was in space. Stay here for another breath in. And then start to straighten your right leg. Come with your right arm level to the floor forward, and then place your right hand down on your shin or on a quad. Or if it's there for you, you can come onto your right fingertips. However, I want to create space for my chest. For me, it would be more important if you stay up here, but you have your shoulders on top of each other, rather than being all the way down here, but the shoulders are hunching forward. So yeah, find your sweet spot where you can maintain. Imagine you're squeezed in between two walls and you have to set yourself up very slim. So squeeze also your left bum to roll left hip on top of your right hip. Stay here for another breath in. Exhale out. And then find your way back out of it. Bend your right knee, let your left arm go and frame your left foot. Come into an easy twist. Right arm goes up towards the sky. Then roll onto the knife edge of your left foot and walk your right foot down towards your left foot as far as you have to go until you feel ready to pick right leg up to step it behind your left knee. Come into wild thing from here. Feel all the engagement along your backside as you start to open your heart wider and higher up towards the sky. Return then back into plank position. So with control, set your right hand beside your left hand, pivot on that left foot and step your right foot beside your left foot. Come then into Chaturanga Dandasana. With an inhale, come into your cobra. And then from here, let's come down onto our stomach in between. Bring your hands beside your hips and close your legs together. Magnetize them into each other. Keep the back of your neck long. So imagine you want to pull the nose between your ears. Then float your arms off the floor. Roll your shoulder heads backwards. So imagine there is a string attached to the front of your shoulder and the floor. And you want to rip that string. So you lift the shoulder heads backwards. Then join with your legs and lift them up as well. From your highest point, can you then bring your pinky knife edges even a little closer towards the center line and your legs as well. Stay here for 2 more breaths. 1 more breath. Oh, I know it's hard work because those muscles are weak, because most of the time, you can come down. We're not working them, we're actually overstretching it, and we just roll our shoulders forward. So stay here for another breath. To reset, to re-energize, because we're going to go into it for second round. You can stay with the same version, or if you want, this time interlace your fingers behind your back. Lift your legs off the floor. Find that rolling movement first in your shoulders. Then start to straighten your arms and see if you can lift. Keep on breathing through it. So even though it is hard work, and trust me, we all feel it, can you remain soft and happy by breathing? 1 more. Beautiful. Then sink your hands back down towards your sacrum to let go of it. Bring your hands beside your ribs and push yourself up. Come into your downward facing dog. Exhale out. Lift your right leg up high to the sky. Inhale. Curl your right knee into your chest and step it through between your thumbs. Lengthen from your left heel to the ground of your head. And then stay low as you pull your left foot beside your right foot. Lift your heels off the floor and sit your bum down towards your heels. And then bring your arms out in front of you. Plug your upper arms into your shoulder joint and feel how this movement alone, so I don't change the shape of my spine, it's just upper arms mindfully in my shoulder joints, how this brings a stretch to your neck and your shoulders. Stay here for another breath. With an exhale out, start then to lean forward. Activate your core, draw your navel towards your spine, maybe open your knees to come even further down, and then sit all the way down onto your butt. Well done. Float your feet off the floor, come into high boat. And then with a strong core, so activate first before you move, come into low boat. From your low boat all the way down. Lucky us, we don't have to pull back up. Well done. Bend your knees and pull your heels underneath your knees. Hands beside your hips. Lengthen your spine. Press your ribs downwards. Press your lower back downwards. Keep the back of your neck long. Then squeeze into your glutes and your hammies first, and from here lift your hips off the floor. So in the beginning, it's just one straight line from the shoulders to the knees. Then from here, if that feels good, walk your shoulder blades further towards another. So there comes a little bit of a lifting from the chest up towards the chin. And this is where we create that arched shape by lifting chest towards chin. See if you can bring your hands together underneath, spin your tricep down and roll your bicep up. Keep on pushing the pinky knife edge of your hands downwards. Keep on driving through your heels upwards. Keep your lower back happy. Keep on pressing the back of your neck down into the floor. And then breathe. Bring space to your heart. Activate all your heart energy. So even in those harder shapes, we still are loving ourselves and loving our practice. Wonderful. And then reset. Let go of your hands. Roll back down, vertebra at a time. Bring both of your knees into your chest. Give yourself a cuddle. Maybe some gentle rocks from side to side. And then use your legs to rock your way up into cross-legged seat. And then from your cross-legged seat, come all the way up into a forward fold. You might have to walk a little bit further forward to be at the front of the yoga mat. Let everything drop and hang, relax your face. And soften your knees, sweep arms back and around and come all the way up, standing nice and tall. Inhale. Connect your palms and draw them down towards your heart center, Samastihiti. Lift your arms back up high, inhale. Open your arms to the sides, swan dive, over your legs, come back down. Come into a half lift, inhale. Free your right foot and step it right through to the very end of the yoga mat. Bend your left knee, come into an easy twist, lift your left arm up towards the sky, and then roll onto the knife edge of your right foot. Walk your left foot maybe slightly further down as well. Activate all those muscles along your right side, so you're strong enough to pick left foot up, to step it over and behind your right knee. And then from here, open into wild thing. Feel how activating muscles along your backside helps you to open through the front side. And it is in this order. Stay here for another breath in. With an exhale out, turn back into plank position, both hands beside each other, toes beside each other. Lengthen. Bend your elbows, find your chaturanga. Pushing forward and upwards, come into your back bend. Inhale. And then from here, come up into your downward facing dog, exhaling out. Lift your left leg up high to the sky, in. Curl your left knee into your chest and come right through between your hands. Exhale out. Sink first to have a strong base. From here, receive the rebound and rise up, 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 up. Inhale. Turn your right heel down and open into your warrior two over to the other side. Maybe you have to widen your stance a little bit, which allows you then to have the left knee really on top of your left ankle. Arms are level to the floor. Lift and find grace in your posture, length in your posture. Stay here for another breath. And then reverse your warrior. So bring your right arm around your lower back as you do so. Reach past your ear with your left fingertips and lean into it. Stay here for another breath. Exhale out. Keep your right arm where it is. Bring your left arm back in front of you and straighten both of your legs. Then let your left hand come down onto your shin bone on the floor or a quad. Roll right shoulder back and right hip back. Feel if you could bring more space across your chest. And if there is yes as an answer, then do and move that way, that you are bringing all that space to your chest. Stay here for another breath in. Exhale out. And then roll everything back to the front, and with that close your hips and your shoulders back down to earth. Find your lunge, lengthen here. Step your right foot to the front beside your left foot. Beautiful. Let's come back into cosmic egg again. So lift your heels up high and sit your butt down towards your heels. Float your arms so they are level to the floor. Pluck your upper arms into your shoulder joint. Then open your knees to the side. You're going to move the opposite way this time first. So instead of sitting back, we actually lean forward. And that happens with a strong core activation. So feel how you bring your ribs down towards your hips, draw your navel in, and then lean forward. Beautiful. Snuggling in even more and more. And curling even lower and lower. Find stability from a strong core and by pressing your heels towards another. Then start to open your arms now to the side and see how this feels. So tricep is on the inside of your knees. Maybe from there you can even come further down. And then if that feels good, and if your elbow joint is further than your shin bone, turn your right palm upwards, bend your right elbow, and bring your right hand around to sit against your right hip. And then do the same with your left. Left palm turns up, bend your left elbow joint and bring it around. And then see if this helps you to curl even deeper into that ball and bring even more space to the muscles between your shoulder blades. Work with the tip of your nose. Keep on pulling it towards your navel. Stay here for another breath in. Exhale out. And then free your hands. Bring them back out in front of you. And now sit back. Use the upper body as a counterweight to make it a smooth transition. Well done. Float your legs up high into high boat. And then from here, lower yourself back down into low boat. And then come all the way down and ground. Step your feet underneath your knees, have your knees hip-width distance apart. We're going to go up into full wheel pose. If wheel pose is something that scares you or it's not in your practice yet, stay with me, don't turn me off. Stay with me and just do the first round, what we did in our first round, our glute bridge. And you're totally fine, and after that you jump back in. If you're happy to try wheel pose, or do it, come with me, place your hands beside your ears. If you have really tight shoulders, feel free to set your hands a little higher up towards the short edge of the yoga mat. Thumbs are pointed inwards. Then go through the same steps like you did before. So press your lower ribs down, squeeze into your butt, and lift your hips up high. At that point, it is already easier to seal your hands flat down. And also a good reminder, we want to keep those elbows together. So keep them magnetized towards another. Then from here, press into your hands and maybe come onto the top of the head. Just so you have another moment where you can reshuffle and pull your elbows towards another. And then from here, press up if it's there for you to come into full wheel pose. And then stay here with me for 4 breaths. Inhale, exhale out. In, exhale out. 2 more in. Exhale out. Last one in. And exhale out. Then rebend, draw your chin towards your chest so your neck is safe as you come back down. And then feel into the firework. Close your eyes and just be here. Wow. Wheel pose is really like a firework. Like going up into wheel pose is like shooting off the rockets in the sky. And then once we release that posture is when they explode and they show all those beautiful colors and patterns, and that's when the real magic happens. So this is right now, right here. So stay with you and just see all that. The internal firework. Hallelujah. And in wheel pose, there's a lot that goes on. I mean, our hips open up as well. It is a deep back bend. But I hope that you were able still to feel how much space it actually brings to our shoulders and across our chest, and how it cracks our heart space wide open. Stay here for another breath. Pat your lips and sigh out. Then bring your knees into your chest. Give yourself a cuddle. Let go of your left leg and bring right leg across for a spinal twist. Reach with your right arm all the way over to the opposite side to help you to counterbalance. Stay for another breath in. And then switch over to the other side. Bring both of your knees into your chest. Extend your right leg and bring left leg over and across for your spinal twist on that side. And take another breath in. Exhale out. And then bring both of your knees back into your chest and use them to rock yourself up into a seated position. Center yourself on the yoga mat and then step your feet off the yoga mat. Flex your hands and bring the back of the hands against your waistline. Then bring your elbows to the inside of your knees. from here, draw your chin towards your chest, round, curl your nose down towards your belly button, and then squeeze your knees into each other, and with that, you kind of squeeze your elbows. Try to have your shoulders unshrugged as good as possible in this position. Bring space to all those muscles that are running across your back. And it is actually also a nice decompression for your wrist, which can feel a little worked up after a wheel pose too. Head is heavy. Use the weight of your head to stretch your spine long. Then slowly release. Let go of that pressure with your knees and roll through your wrists. Keep your legs where they are and just go along with it, okay? Bring your right arm underneath your right leg with your palm facing down, and then join in with your left arm, doing the same. So your arms are going underneath your legs, somewhere behind your kneecap. Then keep your palms face down beside your hips and see if you can straighten your legs, and with that you lean more and more into your arms. Be mindful with your elbow joint, don't hyperextend that, and see if you can come flat and flatter down towards the floor. If you're all the way down, work on lengthening your spine again. So instead of having the forehead down, it's maybe the chin that comes down. Stay here for another 2 breaths. One more breath. And then slowly release the same way you got in there. So you want to bend your knees first. Then pull one arm out, followed by the second arm. Ooh, feels like, we wringed ourselves out just one time. So now everything fresh can come back in. Let's find our way into Savasana to give time to fill all those emptied and squeezed out nooks with freshness. So if there's something else you would want to do before you find Savasana, of course you always can, but if you feel ready for it, just spread out on your yoga mat and give all of your weight into earth. And yeah, like I said, often it's emotional tension we are holding in our shoulders and our neck too. So hopefully some sort of that tension is now pushed out, squeezed out. And here in Savasana now is the time to refill it with a feeling that is nourishing for you, that is serving you, that is aligning with you. So even though there is no more movement, it still is work in the sense of we still need to be present. We can't just drift off and find ourselves in our heads. So stay with yourself here for up to 5 minutes. I'll leave you in peace for your Savasana. Thank you so much for joining and sharing your energy. I hope to see you soon again on the mat. Namaste.